If I told you that your greatest pain could be your greatest blessing, you would call me crazy. But stay here with me until the end, for I will reveal to you a secret that the ancient sages have kept for millennia. The reason you were born into this imperfect life may be exactly what your soul needed to awaken. Before we continue together on this journey of discovery, subscribe to this channel, not out of vanity, but because each subscription is a seed planted to transform this world, and you can be part of a silent movement of awakenings where each soul touched by this wisdom becomes a light that illuminates other souls, lost in the darkness of unnecessary suffering. Look, my friend, let me shatter an illusion that keeps you trapped. You believe that enlightenment happens in perfect gardens, where there is no pain, where everything flows like golden honey. But look around you. You see imperfection. You see pain. You see uncertainty. And you think, how can I awaken in the midst of so much chaos? But I tell you a truth that can shake your foundations. This imperfect life, this existence full of thorns, is the most fertile ground there is for your enlightenment. Like the lotus that rises from the darkest mud and becomes the purest flower, your consciousness awakens precisely where life challenges you most deeply. Imagine a blind turtle in the vast ocean. Once every 100 years, it emerges to the surface. In the same ocean floats a wooden yoke with a hole in the center. What are the chances of this blind turtle emerging at exactly the right place and time so that its head can pass through that hole? The ancient masters used this metaphor to describe how rare it is to be born human. And you, my friend, have achieved this rarity. But why is this human life so special? Because here, in this intermediate realm, you have something that the gods do not possess, and that the demons have lost: the clarity of mind that arises from the perfect balance between pleasure and pain. The celestial beings, lost in infinite pleasures, never question anything. It's like living forever at a party. Who seeks wisdom when they are permanently drunk on happiness? The infernal beings, on the other hand, are so consumed by agony that they cannot think beyond the next breath of relief. But you, precious human, live in perfect tension. You know pleasure well enough to know it passes. You know pain well enough to seek something beyond it. This tension, which bothers you so much, is precisely what keeps you awake, searching, questioning. I need to tell you something that may hurt at first, but will set you free forever. There is a sacred word, dukkha. It is not just suffering as you translate it. It is the essential dissatisfaction that beats at the heart of all human experience. Listen with your heart. Even in your happiest moments, there is a subtle shadow whispering, "This too shall pass." Even in the purest love, there is the fear of loss. Even in the most glorious achievement, there is the emptiness that follows. This is not your fault. It is the nature of conditioned existence calling you to something greater. Let me show you the three faces of this sacred truth, for understanding them is like receiving a map of the territory of consciousness. The first layer is obvious, the pain you cannot deny.
the illness that corrodes the body, the loss that tears the heart, the failure that humbles the ego. This pain screams so loudly that you can't ignore it. He is your first teacher, brutal but effective. The second layer is more subtle. The impermanence of everything you love. That laughter of your child that echoes and vanishes into thin air. That perfect moment with your love that slips through your fingers like sand. The youth that fades, the beauty that withers, the dreams that change shape. This impermanence constantly whispers, "Do not cling too tightly, for everything is borrowed." The third layer is the deepest and most liberating when understood. Even in neutral experiences, even in seemingly peaceful moments, there is a subtle tension. It is the weight of maintaining an identity, the constant effort to be someone, the existential fatigue of carrying the burden of being a separate me in an infinite universe. But listen well, dear soul, I have not come merely to show you the wound. I have come to teach you how to heal it. For I have identified the root of all this suffering, tanha, the desire that is never satisfied, the attachment that turns every experience into a prison. And here is the good news that can transform your life forever. This cessation is possible, not through escapism, not by running away from life, but by diving so deeply into wisdom, ethics, and mindfulness that you discover freedom at the very heart of existence. The path does not lead you out of life. It leads you to its sacred center, where you discover that you were always free. You just forgot how to remember. Now, I want you to completely change your relationship with pain. Buddhist wisdom doesn't see suffering as your enemy. It sees it as your most dedicated teacher, the one who never misses class, who never gives up teaching you. Think about the last time you really changed something important in your life. Was it when you were comfortable watching Netflix on the couch? Or was it when pain knocked so hard on your door that you had no choice but to open it? A monk named Thich Nhat Hanh said something that can transform how you view your difficult moments. Without mud, there is no lotus. The most beautiful flower in the world is literally born from dirt, from decay, from what seems dead. Your pain is not the end of the story. It is the fertilizer for its flowering. Even in the West, great thinkers understood this. Nietzsche said that what doesn't kill us makes us stronger. Viktor Frankl, a concentration camp survivor, discovered that even in the most extreme suffering, there is the possibility of finding meaning. But we 2,500 years ago already knew this. Let me tell you about your unique position in the universe. You are exactly where you need to be, not too high, not too low, but at the perfect point between knee-jerk reaction and total complacency. Animals react by instinct. A dog doesn't stop to think, "Should I bark at that mailman?" He simply barks. The gods, on the other hand, are so immersed in well-being that they never question anything. It's like living in a bubble of permanent happiness. There's no growth there. But you have something extraordinary, the ability to pause. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. And in that space is your freedom, your chance to choose who you want to be. When someone irritates you, you can react automatically, or you can stop and ask, how do I want to respond to this? When anxiety hits, you can be swallowed by it, or you can watch it like a cloud passing through the sky of your mind. I need to destroy another myth that keeps you small. Karma is not destiny. Karma is not, it was written. Karma is intention. It is the quality of your mind at the moment of action. Imagine your mind is a car, and your intentions are the steering wheel. You may be on a difficult road, full of potholes and curves. That's the life you've been given. But your hands are on the wheel. Every thought you entertain, every word.
And the seeds you plant today are the flowers or thorns you will harvest tomorrow. This isn't cheap positive thinking. It's full responsibility. It's knowing that no matter what happened to you, you have the power to choose how you react from now on. In the modern world, cultivating mindfulness is not just a relaxation technique. It is an ethical act. It is resistance against a system that profits from your inattention. Every notification on your phone is designed to hijack your attention. Every advertisement is created by psychologists to make you feel incomplete. Every endless scroll on social media is programmed to addict your brain. When you stop, breathe, and come back to the present moment, you are rebelling against all of this. You are saying, my attention is sacred. My peace is not for sale. There is a phrase that has changed millions of lives over the centuries. Vigilance is the path to immortality. Negligence is the path to death. Those who are vigilant do not die. Those who are negligent are already dead. I'm not talking about physical death. I'm talking about actually being alive. How many people do you know who are technically alive but completely asleep, who spend their days on autopilot, reacting, complaining, repeating the same patterns for years? Every moment you are present, truly present, is a moment you are truly living. Every conscious breath is a vow that you choose to be here, now, completely. This means that immortality is not something you achieve in the future. It is something you practice now. Every moment of mindfulness is a moment of eternal life. Now, I'm going to show you something that will change how you view your own mental states. We talk about 6 realms of existence, but these are not distant physical places. These are states you visit every day. Have you ever woken up hungry for recognition, obsessively checking how many likes your post got? Welcome to the realm of the hungry ghosts, always wanting more, never satisfied. Have you ever spent the whole day in anger, ruminating on how someone hurt you, plotting mental revenge? You were visiting the hellish realms of your own mind. Have you ever completely lost yourself in pleasures, food, sex, entertainment, without thinking about anything else? You were in the heavenly realms, where everything is pleasurable, but nothing has deep meaning. But here's the beautiful part. Each kingdom has its antidote, its medicine. And you, as a conscious human being, can apply that medicine the moment you recognize where your mind is. When you find yourself in the realm of hungry ghosts, always wanting more, always dissatisfied, the remedy is generosity. Not necessarily of money, but of attention, of gratitude for what you already have, of recognizing the abundance that already exists in your life. When your mind is in the hellish realms of hatred and anger, the remedy is compassion, starting with yourself. Ask yourself, what is this anger trying to protect me from? Usually, behind the anger is fear, and behind the fear is a part of you that needs care. When you are lost in the pleasures of the heavenly realms, the remedy is remembrance of impermanence. Not to end the joy, but to savor it without clinging, to say how beautiful this moment is without holding on so tightly that you suffocate it. When your mind is in the animal realm, just reacting on instinct, the remedy is to pause and breathe. Create that sacred space between stimulus and response. Ask, how do I want to be in this moment? When you are in the realm of the gods, bored and purposeless despite having everything, the remedy is to find something to serve, something greater than yourself. Because true happiness always comes when we stop trying to be happy and start making others happy. Now we come to the heart of everything I am teaching you. Human life is unique, not because it is painless, but because we can use that pain as fuel for our transformation. Think about your greatest pain right now, that wound you carry, that fear that haunts you, that loss that hasn't yet healed. Your first reaction is to run away from it, medicate it, distract it. But what if I told you that it is your greatest teacher in disguise? Every time you face your pain without running away, without distracting yourself, without numbing it, something miraculous happens. You discover that you are greater than it. You discover that you can feel pain without being destroyed by it. You discover a strength you didn't know you had. I'm not romanticizing suffering. I'm showing you how to transform it into wisdom. How to use every tear as water to water seeds of compassion. How to use every disappointment as fertilizer to cultivate healthy detachment. But let me be practical with you. There's no point in me talking about wisdom if you don't know how to apply it on Monday morning when your alarm clock goes off. There is a 3-part training that can revolutionize your life. First, virtue. Not the boring moral rules you were taught, but conscious choices that make you respect yourself when you look in the mirror. It means speaking the truth even when it's inconvenient. It means not doing to others what hurts you. It means choosing to be honest even when no one is watching. It doesn't make you righteous. It makes you free from the guilt and shame that drain your energy. Second, concentration. The ability to keep your mind where you want it to be, not letting it get hijacked by every random thought, every notification, every drama that isn't yours. Start small. 5 minutes a day paying attention to your breathing, not to relax, although it does relax, but to train your mind like you train your body in the gym. Third, wisdom. Seeing things as they really are without the filters of your fears, desires, and conditioning. Seeing that everything changes, that nothing is permanent, that you are not the thoughts that go through your head. This training unfolds into 8 practices that can transform every area of your life. Correct understanding. Understand that your suffering has a cause and that this cause can be eliminated. Don't accept that it's just the way it is when you can change. Right intention. Wake up each day deciding who you want to be. Don't let the day decide for you. Correct speech. Your words have power. Use them to heal, not to hurt, to build, not to tear down. Right action. Every choice is a vote on the kind of person you are becoming. Vote consciously. Right livelihood. If you spend 8 hours a day doing something that goes against your values, don't expect to be happy. Find a way to align how you make money with who you really are. Right effort. It's not about trying harder. It's about trying smart, sustainable, and not burning out. Right mindfulness. Being present not just in meditation, but washing dishes, driving, talking to the people you love. Correct concentration. A focused mind is a powerful mind, and a powerful mind can create the life you truly want.
Now I'm going to teach you something that can change your life immediately. These are 4 ways to pay attention that transform ordinary moments into opportunities for awakening. First, pay attention to your body. Your body is talking to you all the time, but you've stopped listening. When you're stressed, it tenses. When you're lying to yourself, it's uncomfortable. When you're on the right track, it relaxes. Start checking in with your body 3 times a day. How is my body feeling right now? It will give you answers your rational mind tries to hide. Second, pay attention to sensations and feelings. I'm not talking about complex emotions, but those basic sensations: comfortable, uncomfortable, neutral. When you eat something delicious, notice it's pleasurable. When someone criticizes you, notice it's uncomfortable. Stop running away from uncomfortable sensations and desperately clinging to pleasurable ones. Just notice, discomfort. Interesting. Third, pay attention to your mind. Your mind produces about 60,000 thoughts a day. Most of them are repetitive, useless, or destructive. Start observing your mind as you would observe the sky. Some thoughts are like dark clouds, others like blue sky. But you are the sky, not the passing clouds. Fourth, pay attention to mental objects, your values, your beliefs, your behavior patterns. How often do you act based on beliefs that aren't even yours, but that you inherited from family, society, the media? Start asking yourself, does this belief serve me or limit me? Does this pattern bring me closer to who I want to be or distance me? What I'm teaching you is not self-help, it's revolution. A silent revolution that starts within you and spreads to everything around you. When you stop reacting automatically, you break generations of family chains. When you respond with compassion instead of anger, you plant seeds of peace in a violent world. When you choose to be present instead of escaping, you become a beacon for others who are also lost in the darkness of distraction. But I'll be honest with you, the path to awakening is not easy because you will face 5 internal enemies that will try to sabotage you. First, sensual desire. Not just sex, but anything that promises instant happiness. Food, shopping, entertainment, drugs, social media. Every time you're uncomfortable, these pleasures will whisper, "Come here, I'll make you forget." The antidote is not to repress it, but to observe. What am I using this to escape from? Second, ill will, anger. When life doesn't go your way, when people don't do what you expected, anger arises as if it could control the uncontrollable. The antidote is to realize that your anger hurts you more than anyone else. Third, mental and physical laziness. Not the laziness of doing nothing, but the laziness of not wanting to make an effort to grow. It's easier to complain about life than to change it. It's more comfortable to blame others than to take responsibility. The antidote is to start small, but start. Fourth, agitation and anxiety. Your mind that can't stop, always worried about the future or stuck in the past. The antidote is to return, always return to this moment, this breath, this step. Fifth, the paralyzing doubt. Will this work? Can I do it? Is it worth it? The doubt that doesn't question in order to learn, but in order to give up. The antidote is to try, not just think about it. Let me tell you what this looks like in practice, in your real life. At work, you continue to do your tasks, but without the constant anxiety of pleasing everyone or the obsessive fear of failure. You do your best and release the result. In relationships, you love without losing yourself in the other person. You care without controlling. You care without despairing when people don't make the choices you would make. With money, you use what you need without guilt and save without greed. Money becomes a tool, not an identity. With your body, you treat it as a sacred temple, not as an enemy to be punished or an object to be displayed. With your mind, you become the gardener of your thoughts. You can't control which seeds the wind brings, but you can choose which ones you water. Over time, you stop living as if you were immortal, procrastinating everything, and as if you were going to die tomorrow in constant panic. You live as if you know that time is precious, but not scarce. But I will be honest with you, the path to awakening is not easy, because you will face 5 internal enemies that will try to sabotage you. First, sensual desire. Not just sex, but anything that promises instant happiness. Food, shopping, entertainment, drugs, social media. Every time you're uncomfortable, these pleasures will whisper, "Come here, I'll make you forget." The antidote is not to repress it, but to observe. Oh, what am I using this to escape from? Second, ill will, anger. When life doesn't go your way, when people don't do what you expected, anger arises as if it could control the uncontrollable. The antidote is to realize that your anger hurts you more than anyone else. Third, mental and physical laziness. Not the laziness of doing nothing, but the laziness of not wanting to make an effort to grow. It's easier to complain about life than to change it. It's more comfortable to blame others than to take responsibility. The antidote is to start small, but start. Fourth, agitation and anxiety. Your mind that can't stop, always worried about the future or stuck in the past. The antidote is to return, always return to this moment, this breath, this step. Fifth, the paralyzing doubt. Will this work? Can I do it? Is it worth it? The doubt that doesn't question in order to learn, but in order to give up. The antidote is to try, not just think about it. Let me tell you what this looks like in practice, in your real life. At work, you continue to do your tasks, but without the constant anxiety of pleasing everyone or the obsessive fear of failure. You do your best and release the result. In relationships, you love without losing yourself in the other person. You care without controlling. You care without despairing when people don't make the choices you would make. With money, you use what you need without guilt and save without greed. Money becomes a tool, not an identity. With your body, you treat it as a sacred temple, not as an enemy to be punished or an object to be displayed. With your mind, you become the gardener of your thoughts. You can't control which seeds the wind brings, but you can choose which ones you water. Over time, you stop living as if you were immortal, procrastinating everything, and as if you were going to die tomorrow in constant panic. You live as if you know that time is precious but not scarce. But of all the teachings I can give you, this is the most important. Cultivate compassion. Not mushy kindness, but real compassion. The courage to see suffering and do something about it. Start with yourself. Stop talking to yourself in a way you would never talk to someone you love. Stop punishing yourself for past mistakes you can no longer change. Stop demanding a perfection from yourself that you wouldn't even demand from your best friend. Then extend it to others. That person you irritate you, they're suffering too. Maybe not in the same way you are, but they are. That politician you hate, that noisy neighbor, that difficult boss, they all carry pain you can't see. This doesn't mean accepting toxic behavior or letting yourself be walked all over. It means understanding that hurt people, and that the only way to break this cycle is for someone to choose to respond with wisdom rather than react with hurt. When you can do this, look at the imperfect human being behind the irritating behavior. You free yourself from the prison of resentment.
And in the process, you become part of the healing of the world. That's why I invite you to take a deep breath with me. Look around. Everything you see, the walls, the people, the sky outside, will change. What you feel now, joy, sadness, hope, or fear, will also change. This is the inevitable dance of life. But there is something that doesn't need to change: the direction you give your mind and heart from today onwards. The Buddha said, "What we are is the result of what we think." And I say to you, every thought you choose, every intention you plant, is like a seed in the garden of your life. If you sow resentment, you will reap bitterness. If you plant presence and compassion, you will reap peace. And maybe that's the only harvest that really matters. My friend, life is short, shorter than we imagined. Don't wait for pain to knock on your door to start waking up. Don't wait to lose to appreciate. Don't wait for the perfect moment. It doesn't exist. The time is now. Boot camp is exactly the life you are living. Your work, your family, your challenges, your failures and victories, all of this is material for your awakening. I want you to close your eyes tonight and ask yourself 3 questions. 1. What kind of person am I becoming with the choices I make every day? 2. What do I need to let go of to live more lightly? And 3. If this were my last week of life, how would I live each moment? Perhaps by answering, you'll realize that you don't have to change the world to change your life. You just have to change the way you look at it. Remember, you are already in the perfect place to wake up. Nothing is missing. All that's left is for you to choose. And I want to ask you something. If this message touched your heart, if it made you reflect, subscribe to the channel and activate notifications. Not for me, but for this chain of transformation to reach other people who, like you, need to remember the treasure they already have in their hands. You are not alone on this journey. We're walking together. And maybe, just maybe, this is the life where you will become enlightened. You are not just a living body. You are an awakening consciousness. And the time to awaken is now. Hello, the Buddha in me salutes the Buddha in you.